Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina urges parliament to remain alert so that corrupt terrorists and militants can come into power to hinder further advancement of Bangladesh. President Mohammad Abdul Hamid calls upon OIC leaders to play active role to change US decision as capital of Israel. Democratic process should not be hindered if BNP does not take part in next election, comments Ubaidul Qadir. Martyred Intellectuals Day tomorrow. Nation would recall valiant sons of soil through observing day with due respect. Information Minister Hasina urges media to play important role to alleviate poverty and ensure sustainable development. US ready to sit with North Korea for discussion without condition. And in Mohali, India beat Sri Lanka by 141 runs in the second ODI and level 3 match series 1-1. Assalamu alaikum, I am Zafar Imam with you, welcoming at News at 10 on BTV, BTV World and BTV Chittagong Center.
And I'm Shamim Khan, welcoming you all. Those were the headlines. We now move on to the news and details. Prime Minister and Awami League President Sheikh Hasina has urged the party leaders and workers to forge a strong unity at all levels of the organization to ensure party's victory in the next general elections. The Prime Minister was addressing a reception accorded to her by France chapter Awami League in Paris last night. Calling upon the party leaders and workers to make the party stronger, the Awami League president said, unity at all levels of the party should be established through sacrifice. She said division among leaders may create a scope for conspirators, which is not possible if the leaders and workers remain united. Her party will be re-elected inshallah, and the pace of development of Bangladesh would continue, she added. She said BNP has distorted the country's history, depriving the new generation of knowing the real history of the nation. They banned playing of Bongo Bundu's historic March 7th speech, she said. But she said UNESCO has recognized his speech, enlisting it as one of the world's documentary heritages which brightened the image of Bangladesh. Highlighting the country's development in various fields, Sheikh Hasina said her government has been making constant efforts to build a poverty-free Bangladesh. Sheikh Hasina said the government is striving to finish the remaining development works within the current tenure of a government. In the interest of country's progress and development, she said Awami League should win in the next election. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina urged the French companies to set up a special economic zone in Bangladesh, saying there is an immense scope for more French investment in various sectors. Her government is setting up 100 special economic zones across the country to industrialize Bangladesh in an inclusive manner. Besides the traditional areas of trade, she said, there is a scope for further French investment in Bangladesh's urban infrastructure, energy and the blue economy sectors, she said, in a breakfast meeting with top French business leaders in Paris today. Sheikh Hasina said France needs to invest to sustain its growth, while Bangladesh needs investment to expedite its growth. Sheikh Hasina said Bangladesh is a huge market of 160 million people located between South and Southeast Asia. Its geographical location has made Bangladesh the natural gateway between the ASEAN and SAARC regions, she added. Earlier, Executive Vice President of Total and Tails Company Philip Soquet and Martin Van Sheikh paid a courtesy call on Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina.
President Mohammed Abdul Hamid has asked the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, OIC, to play a vital role on changing US decision about Jerusalem. He was addressing the 6th extraordinary summit of OIC at the Turkish city of Istanbul. Presided over by Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, among others, President of Palestine Authority Mahmoud Abbas and other leaders of OIC also spoke. President Abdul Hamid said the December 6 US announcement and process to transfer its embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem came to shock and outrage the Islamic feelings, posing a great threat of the Middle East peace process as well. The Bangladesh president pointed out that the US decision was made in blatant violation of international law and a number of UN Security Council resolutions. On Rohingya issue, President Abdul Hamid reiterated his calls for sustained pressure on Myanmar government to ensure early, safe, secured and dignified repatriation of Rohingyas and make authorities in that country to address the root cause of the problems, restoring their citizenship and all related rights. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan has assured Bangladesh of providing more assistance on the Rohingya issue. During a bilateral meeting with President Mohammed Abdul Hamid on the sideline of the Special Summit of Organization of Islamic Cooperation, OIC, at Istanbul Congress and Exhibition Center, the Turkish President also lauded the initiative of Bangladesh government in this regard. President Abdul Hamid expressed thanks and gratitude to his Turkish counterpart for providing heartfelt support to the issue of displaced Rohingyas who took shelter in Bangladesh territory. The President hoped that the friendly and bilateral relations between the two countries are increasing day by day and it would continue in future. Later, President of Sudan, Omar Hassan Ahmed al-Bashir, held a bilateral talk with the President, Mohammed Abdul Hamid, on the sideline of the OIC summit in the afternoon. During the meeting, the Sudanese President lauded the role of Bangladesh peacekeepers' role in United Nations peacekeeping missions in different countries across the world. President Abdul Hamid thanks the Sudanese counterpart, mentioning the excellent bilateral relations between the two countries. A meeting and a cultural function were arranged at Bangladesh Consulate at Istanbul last night, marking the Great Victory Day of Bangladesh. State Minister for Foreign Affairs Shahriar Alam and Bangladesh Consul General in Istanbul spoke on the occasion. Later, a colorful cultural program was performed. President Mohammed Abdul Hamid enjoyed the cultural event. President's wife Rashida Khanum and her entourage were present.
Speaker Dr. Shirin Sharmin Chaudhary has stressed on the role of teachers in human resource development. The speaker laid emphasis while addressing a rally of teachers at Birganj Government High School field in Rangpur today. Held with Deputy Commissioner Muhammad Wahiduzzaman in the chair, the rally was also addressed, among others, by leaders of local Awami League and Teachers Association. The speaker hoped that Bangladesh, led by Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, would turn into a middle-income country by 2021 and a developed country by 2041. Earlier, Dr. Shirin Sharmin Chaudhary laid a foundation of different educational institutions, health centers, roads and development projects at Birganj. She also distributed wheelchairs among the people with disabilities. UN Under-Secretary General for Political Affairs Jeffrey Feltman has said the origins and solutions to the Rohingya crisis rest in Myanmar. Briefing on developments in Myanmar at UN Security Council on 12 December 2017, Feltman said the United Nations can help for safe and dignified repatriation of Rohingya people from Bangladesh. On behalf of UN Chief Antonio Guterres, Jeffrey Feltman gave a 5-point proposal to solve the Rohingya crisis. Details by Mahbubur Rahman.
The United Nations can help Myanmar to diffuse intercommunal tensions and create an environment for safe and dignified repatriation of Rohingya people. United Nations Under Secretary General for Political Affairs Jeffrey Feltman said this to the UN Security Council on 12 December in his briefing on developments in Myanmar. 12 December meeting is a follow-up to the UN Security Council presidential statement on the situation in Myanmar adopted on 6 November 2017, which requested the Secretary General to brief on developments 30 days after its adoption. Feltman said the UN is grateful for the continued generosity of the government and people of Bangladesh and called on the international community to continue to support to solve the Rohingya crisis.
The complex challenges in Rakhine require civilian-military coordination. Council members have underlined the importance of effective partnership with the Myanmar authorities, especially the military. Close neighbors like China and Indonesia can help through their military-to-military engagement.
Feltman gave 5-step proposal on behalf of UN Chief to solve the Rohingya crisis. Secretary General Special Representative on Sexual Violence in Conflict, Purmila Patel, who visited Bangladesh from 5th to 13th November 2017, also briefed the UN Security Council. She said sexual violence was being used as a push factor for forced displacement of the Rohingya.
The forms of sexual violence are consistently heard about from survivors and witnesses included rape, gang rape by multiple soldiers, forced public nudity and humiliation, and sexual slavery in military captivity.
United States Ambassador to the UN, Nikki Haley, also called for a transparent investigation into the atrocities against Rohingya people.
We see an investigation by the Burmese military that denies all responsibility. This is unacceptable. Burma must allow an independent, transparent, and credible investigation into what has happened.
Besides the permanent member of UN Security Council, Bangladesh and Myanmar representatives also addressed the special meeting. Permanent representative of Bangladesh to the UN, Ambassador Masood bin Momen said, still Rohingya people are coming into Bangladesh.
Till date, Bangladesh continues to receive fresh arrivals of the Rohingya, with an average of 100 to 400 people on a daily basis. We urge the UN and its partners to keep a close watch on the volatile situation in central Rakhine state to prevent further possible outbreak of violence targeting the Rohingya, mostly confined in IDP camps there.
He also said the MOU signed between Bangladesh and Myanmar on 23rd November 2017 will definitely help to repatriate Rohingya people from Bangladesh. Mahabubur Rahman, Bangladesh Television.
Awami League General Secretary and Road Transport and Bridges Minister Obaidul Qadir has said, democracy will not be hampered if BNP does not participate in the next general election. The minister said this while speaking at a function held at Ramakrishna Mission Ground at Gopi Bagh area in the capital today. Held with Mission Executive Committee President Gaurav Gopal Shaha in the chair, the function was also attended, among others, by Indian High Commissioner to Bangladesh Harshvardhan Sringla, Ramakrishna Math Maharaja Shami Amyananda Maharaj, and Jatiya Party Presidium member Qazi Firoz Rashid MP. Awami League General Secretary said, whether to participate or not in the next general election, it is completely BNP's own decision. But the next general election will be held as per the Constitution, he added.
Information Minister Hassanul Haqqinu has said the journalists have to play an important role to alleviate poverty and ensuring sustainable development. The minister said this while inaugurating a 2-day-long sub-regional sustainable development goal workshop jointly organized by BTV and Asia Pacific Institute for Broadcasting Development, AIBD, in Dhaka today. Among others, Director General of BTV SM Harun Rashid, AIBD Director Changjian, Information Secretary Murtuza Ahmed, and Chief Coordinator of Prime Minister's Office on SDG, Abul Kalam Azad, spoke on the occasion. Speakers said people's participation is the oxygen of all kinds of development, and militancy is the main enemy of the sustainable politics.
We believe that we are on a good track for implementing the SDG. Today's workshop will give insight, sharing experience for implementing the SDG all over the area of AIPT.
If properly willed, media can be one of our best weapons for poverty alleviations. And as you know, that broadcasters are an important part of the media sector. Let us all stand together with the broadcasters and join hands to say goodbye to poverty from our Mother Earth.
U.S. Ambassador to Bangladesh Marsha Barnikat has said the United States would give a grant of $14.5 million to help the Rohingya people who are now being sheltered in Bangladesh. She said this when she made a courtesy call on Health and Family Welfare Minister Mohammad Naseem at his Secretariat office in Dhaka today. Hailing Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina as well as Mohammad Naseem for ensuring health services for the Rohingya people, within a short time, Barnikat said Bangladesh had done a great humanitarian task by giving shelter to Rohingyas. She also said the United States of America feels proud to be a part with Bangladesh in helping Rohingyas who have fled from Myanmar. Health Minister Naseem expressed his gratitude to the U.S. for playing an effective role at the United Nations Security Council on the Rohingya issue. During the meeting, they also discussed bilateral issues of common concerns.
The nation is set to observe the Martyred Intellectuals Day tomorrow in a befitting manner. On this day, 46 years ago, on the eve of the nation's victory, the marauding Pakistan army, in coalition with the local Quislings, the Al-Badr, Al-Shams and Razakars, killed the most prominent intellectuals of the country in a bid to cripple the newly emerging nation of Bangladesh. A memorial erected in memory of the martyred intellectuals at Mirpur in the capital has been readied, as national leaders and people from all walks of life will offer tributes by placing wreaths there. The Pakistani troops and the Bangla-speaking collaborators belonging to the Razakar or other auxiliary forces killed a number of intelligentsia throughout the 9-month-long liberation war. Those who were exposed to the killer's wrath on December 14 in 1971 included Dr. Aleem Chaudhry and Dr. Fazli Rabbi, journalist Shahidullah Kaisar, Sirajuddin Hussain, Nizamuddin Ahmed, S.A. Mannan and Salina Parveen and literatore Munir Chaudhry. Most of the December 14 victims were picked up from the houses, blindfolded and killed between December 10th and 14th in 1971. Bangladesh this year observes the day with a sense of relief from the stigma of impunity as the top assassins who managed to make their room in the national politics with the patronage of influential vested quarters, which emerged after the August 15 in 1975 assassination of Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, were hanged. Al-Badr Chief Moti Rahman Nizami and his second-in-command Ali Ahsan Mujahid, who subsequently became Jamaat's Amir and Secretary General and ministers in the past BNP-led 4-party coalition government, were hanged after trial as major war criminals. Marking the day, ruling Awami League and other political parties and different cultural and social organizations chalked out various programs. Meanwhile, in separate messages today, President Mohammad Abdul Hamid and Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina have paid profound respect and rich tribute to the best sons of the soil on the occasion of Martyred Intellectuals Day. Now, international news. The U.S. is ready to talk any time with North Korea without preconditions, says Secretary of State Rex Tillerson. His statement appeared to shift the U.S. position away from previous demands that North Korea must disarm before any talks can be held. But hours later, the White House said President Donald Trump's views on North Korea had not changed. North Korea's pursuit of nuclear weapons technology has led to heavy U.S.-led sanctions against the regime. Now news on sports. India beat Sri Lanka by 141 runs in the second ODI of the three-match series and leveled the series 1-1 in Mohali. Chasing the victory target of 393 runs, Sri Lanka managed to score 251 runs for 8 in the stipulated 50 overs. Angela Matthews was unbeaten on 111 runs for Lankans. Earlier, India batted first and scored 392 runs for 4 in the stipulated 50 overs. Rohit Sharma made his third ODI double century and scored unbeaten 208 runs. Sheikh scored 68 runs while Shreyas Iyer scored 88 runs for the hosts.
Well, still not human effort has decimated the opposition. Brings up a double hundred and a second hundred.
And now to end the bulletin, a recap of the top stories. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina urges the party men to remain alert so that corrupts, terrorists and militants can't come into power to hinder further advancement of Bangladesh. President Mohammad Abdul Hamid calls upon OIC leaders to play active role to change U.S. decision as capital of Israel. Democratic process would not be hindered if BNP does not take part in the next election, comments Obaidul Qadir. Martyred Intellectuals Day tomorrow. Nation would recall the valiant sons of the soil through observing the day with due respect. Information Minister Hassanul Haqqi urges the media to play important role to alleviate poverty and ensure sustainable development. U.S. ready to sit with North Korea for discussion without condition. And in Mohali, India beat Sri Lanka by 141 runs in the second ODI and levels three-match series 1-1.
And that's all from our newsroom for the moment. Thank you for staying with us. And we invite you to watch our 11:30 Bangla news. Until then, Khuda Hafiz.
Khuda Hafiz.